Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another video today. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are finally going to dive into it all. We're going to talk about everything that's been going on within our GLP-1 community and what I think is best for our specific community going forward in the next little bit with, again, like I said, all that's been going on. I've been letting this all sort of rest and fizzle out over the last couple of days, but it's just to a point now where so much has happened and so much continues to happen and we need to talk about it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Apologize for the crazy lighting here. It is 9 o'clock at night. I don't know if you can tell if it's dark outside or not, but it's the end of the day and this is the first time that I've had to sit down and really like chat with you guys today. So I'm doing it when I can do it, and so the lighting's just a little bit off. Okay, so if you have no idea what I'm talking about, oh my word, where do I even begin? So last Friday, on the 19th, 18th, 16th of May, there were overnight several very large Facebook communities shut down. That included On the Pens, Allie's from Fit Flavor Fun was shut down, the Orderly Facebook group was shut down, and several other like personal friends that I know. There is a girl who also partners with Orderly who had a group that had like 100,000 members in it, and that was also shut down. So all of those groups were shut down on Friday, and most of the people were getting flagged for things like speaking about injections or speaking about cost of medication or using certain words and certain phrases in posts and all that. And it was Facebook or Meta, I suppose, that was flagging these accounts. Now, most of those accounts were shut down sort of overnight, Friday to Saturday. And by the end of the day on Saturday, a lot of them were back up. So I know that on Dave's was, and I believe, oh, I forgot Countess, hers was also shut down and then it came back. The Orderly Facebook group took several more days for their appeal to go through, but they did get it reinstated by Monday. However, as of Wednesday, when I am filming this video, Wednesday evening, On the Pens is gone, the Orderly group is gone again, and my friend Estelle's is also gone again, who is, oh, actually, no. So Estelle was sort of spared the first time, but then when they shut a bunch down for the second time, Estelle's was affected that time. And then she ended up getting it back and pausing it and all this stuff. So anyway, all of these groups have been just shut down without warning, just shut down. And this was the start over last week, leading into this week, where we really started to see this sort of pushback and challenge being used through social media to attack the speaking about of GLP-1s in a way that somebody doesn't want it spoken about. And I wanted to talk about this because I'm seeing it a lot in my personal group, and there are some things that we're trying to do to avoid being shut down. I only have like 1,200 members over there. So from what I can see, they're not noticing me right now, but the way that things are getting flagged, it's just so hard. I'm just so frustrated. I'm so frustrated with this. We're going to talk about Facebook first, and then we'll move on to the other sort of topics so I can keep it all and make sure I say what I want to say. I'm very frustrated because, perfect example, I have a administrator on my Facebook group, Melissa, who I mentioned before. She helps me a lot over there, and she will send me things like she'll text me a picture of a post that's been sent, like, is this okay, or do we want to keep this up, or should we turn commenting off for this? And lately the things that I'm seeing are things that are genuine questions that could really benefit the community to be answered. And you know, like just a few minutes before I started filming this video, she sent me one, and it was a woman who had, you know, just started on Wegovy, I believe, or Zepbound, and you know, she just wanted some advice on some side effects she was having. And I'm like, what if I delete that post just because it says a GLP-1 name or says I took my shot or whatever? Just because it used one of those words, what is the point of the group if I'm just going to be deleting all of these things and essentially giving into whatever Facebook or the bigger guy wants me to do, you know? And so I told her to leave it. And I said, you know what? We're just going to let it play out. If it gets too spicy, then maybe I'll turn the commenting off. I'm not going to do it, is where I'm going with this. I am so incredibly frustrated. And you guys know I've said that I'm not the one to mess with in terms of like when I believe that something is so right, I'm not the one to mess with. And that's true. It ain't me. I've been through enough hell in my life. I'm not the one. And so I'm not doing it. I want you guys to be able to go to my community or our community, it's not mine, it's ours, and voice concerns that you have or ask questions or whatever. I do think that there are some things that we can maybe avoiding certain trigger words, but even at that point, I want you to be able to come and I want you to be able to ask questions. And so I'm just so over the people that are trying to silence us and are trying to direct the narrative. I'm so, I said in my video Tuesday that I didn't like the whole diet culture, and we had the discussion on diet culture and how I didn't like the narrative that is being shared through diet culture because it is influencing the way that we as people think about GLP-1 care. And this is just another way that they're doing that by silencing the people that are speaking up about the injustices within the community and within the pharmaceutical world. All they're doing is taking that and silencing us or trying to silence us, which then prevents things from getting out, people from learning and doing better because they know better. And it's just another way for them to censor us. And I am not about it. So, unless you're saying some like super crazy stuff, I'm probably not going to mess with your things because, I was scared for a couple of days, but at this point, I have a 1,200 person group. Like if they suspend it for a couple of days, it's not that big of a deal. I'm on many other social platforms. It's okay. But where I want to go next in this is actually over to, I've not seen it on YouTube yet. I say yet. I have also seen things on TikTok. So on TikTok, people's videos that are anything about GLP-1. So these are not just necessarily affiliates that are promoting their telehealth company, which, being honest here, that is mostly what I do over on TikTok. I have decided to keep things very separate for that reason and not, promote Orderly as much over here and to focus on that on TikTok, to keep all the lines happy, me happy, you guys happy, everybody happy, right? So this really isn't just though people promoting a telehealth. This is anybody making GLP-1 content. They are censoring it. And what I mean by that is that they're not pushing it. My views last week were down like 50%. And that is what everybody else is seeing as well. And so I say that to say that it's not just Facebook. It is happening over on TikTok as well. People's videos are not getting pushed, not getting shown on the For You page, and therefore people aren't seeing them. And again, pisses me off, okay? Now, what do we do about this? I've said it 100 times, but being silent when we are receiving the pushback is not what we should be doing, because them pushing back at us like this and them trying to silence us and them trying to influence our thoughts through like pretty much just shutting it down is them saying and acknowledging that in their mind there's a problem, meaning we are getting somewhere, we are making a movement, and what's this girl doing? And they have noticed it and they are then pushing back. So if we give up now, then it would all be for nothing. So we can't give up. So keep on posting the things, keep on asking the questions, keep on going and watching GLP-1 content on TikTok and visiting Facebook groups and spreading the word about what our community is doing for people who don't have access and who think that the only option is to pay these outrageous prices that are offered by pharmaceutical companies. I was telling Chris the other day that I don't see how anybody can look at them, I'm not going to name them by name, and think that they are for us. Tell me how. you know, a lot of the people will say it's their drug. Okay, right. But go look up how many government grants they got to do research to develop that drug. We paid a lot of the research for that drug in government grants. Our taxpayer dollars did. And so yes, it's their drug. Their scientists developed it, all of that. It's kind of it's America's and the world's drug. And if they really wanted us to be healthy, they don't want us to be healthy though. And that's part of it as well, is that if we all get healthy, I might have said this the other day, but if we all get healthy, then it's going to trickle down into everything else, right? So like the whole diet culture world is going to disappear with diet food and diet exercise programs and diet this, diet that. That'll all disappear. Healthcare will suffer because you're not going to be going to the doctor as much. You're not going to be getting as many other medications. It's going to trickle down into the healthcare economy and negatively affect that. When these medications were developed, they were not developed for weight loss. Do we think, conspiracy theory, I don't know. Do we think that once they realized the weight loss factor, that they were just kind of like, whoa, this ain't what we planned. This isn't what we want. And now they're like, oh, shit, we're going to get all these people healthy and there's going to be nothing left for us to treat. And there's going to be nothing, you know, they're not going to be going to the doctor and earning us all of these millions of dollars and getting us all of this money. I'm just saying. It's a possibility in my book. And so I really struggle with finding good things to think and say about them right now, because I do not see any place in the world where they are, or any place in my mind where they are for the people and for the health of the people. All I see is that they're for the money and that they want to minimize any competition and eliminate you being able to find access anywhere else. One thing that I think is really important to note, and I know I said this in my other video, is that this is not a new thing. Like pharmaceuticals monopolizing one certain type of medicine is not a new thing, right? They have been doing this for years and years and years. We have just never pushed back against them. And now we are, we started to, and we are. And that is why you're seeing such this big movement and this big uptick in all of the media talking about it. And it's become like, there has never in the case of American history been a drug that has caused this much like ruckus in the media, and I mean social media as well, but like in the general population, because there's never been something like this, for one thing, but then there's never been the pushback on cost and affordability and access that we are seeing right now. And that scares them. They're scared, whether or not you want to say that they are. If you're one of those people that are like, well, you know, they developed it, they should get the praise for it, whatever. They are fighting because they know that America is fighting back. Like, it's almost like we're losing the grip on them and we have to do whatever we can to hold on to it, or to convince them that other options are unsafe or whatever. Just saying. Okay, next. Let's talk about something else here. I need to move on to the last couple of days with Orderly. And there's only one thing that I want to address about this, because I've been seeing something else going around that refers to Orderly's new pharmacy getting meds from Hong Kong. Okay. So I actually think that I inadvertently started this without that what I said was twisted. So I did say in my original recap of the Orderly conference that Chris Spears, the CEO of Orderly Meds, mentioned that all registered FDA APIs come from Hong Kong. And that is true. The only ones that do not are the ones that are from the Eli Lilly. They do not supply to anywhere else. I believe it's in Colorado. And they only just recently opened that up. Like, they only recently moved it over to America. There's a couple of other suppliers. I believe it's in India, but they all come from overseas. And that's all that I meant by saying that. And you can Google that. It's a Google search. I did it myself because I'm like, oh, is Chris really telling the truth here? And I Googled and I found out that yes, it is true, except for the Eli Lilly ones. And again, that only happened very recently. And so I think that became twisted, and people started saying that Chris said he was going to get his from Hong Kong and they were going to be research. It's turned into this whole thing. And that is not at all what was said. That is not what I said. That is not what Chris said. That's not what anybody said. He's not buying research grade peptides and like mailing them to you. And that's not what's happening. This is going to be a 503A registered pharmacy that is undergoing. This is not something that happened a few months ago either. This is something that they have done and been planning for many, many, many long time. And they're going through all the hoops and doing all the things that they're supposed to do and checking all the boxes, and they're not buying research grade peptides. I wanted to say that. I think like I said, inadvertently, I take responsibility for that. I mentioned something about Hong Kong suppliers, and I think that got a little bit out of hand, but that's not what he said. That's not what I said. That's not what was meant. So I needed to clarify that. Okay. Now that we have that out of the way, trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to talk about. I've already been talking for 16 minutes, and honestly, I was like, what do I really have to say? Apparently a lot today. So yeah, I wanted to cover the Facebook thing. Say what you want in my group, okay? What are they going to do to me? If I run and hide, then the whole entire purpose of me starting this channel and me starting this community would be for nothing. It's not. I want to protect our community, but I want to do it in a way that is serving the community and not just cowering down. If I were to do anything, like giving up anything, it would be the TikTok thing, because it's very new and it's not as important to me as the overall community. But I'm not doing anything right now. Like, I'm not laying down. That's just not who I am. And so I'm not going to do it. So come join the group, say what you want, whatever. I don't, it doesn't matter to me. And then I wanted to cover TikTok. I wanted to clarify the orderly thing, and just say that I am very grateful for this community and for what we have built here. And I want it to continue in the way that it has. And even though there has been so much drama and so much stuff going on recently, I don't want that to affect us here. And if I just have to go back to posting YouTube videos all the time, if my Facebook, and that being the main source of community, if we don't have the Facebook group anymore, then that's just what I'll have to do. But I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to continue to fight, because that's what you guys deserve, and that's what I deserve, and that's what we all deserve. So yeah. And then lastly, the other thing people have been asking me to talk about is just the whole president's thing. There's so many comments like, are you going to touch on that? So I think that politics are a really difficult thing to talk about publicly without giving some type of your opinion, and then people picking up on that and having opinions about your opinion. You know what I mean? And so it's really hard for me, because I don't want the negativity of being put in the group, whether or not people agree with me, right? So what I will say about this is, first off, I shouldn't have called it the fat shot. But I do think that the overall prospect of his idea is a good one. However, there are things about it that aren't so good. So I'm really hoping, sort of like the whole thing with like other prices in other countries will come up as America's goes down. Like, I don't want that to happen. Do you guys want that to happen? We don't want our friends overseas to pay more. We just want us to pay less, right? So there are parts of it that I'm not a fan of, and then there are parts of it that I am a fan of. A lot of the pharmaceutical companies have sort of said that they're going to wait it out, and so it's like either they're going to do what he says and they're going to try to lower it, or they're going to try to wait it out and kind of like have it just be a wash. And on the pen, Dave actually did a really good article speaking about this, about how the new prices were going to be set. So that was the lowest price that any developed country pays. And it was where the he wants, or his aim for is. That's what he's calling for the pharmaceutical companies to do. And one thing that he said in this article that was really good was, most likely they're just gonna, plan to wait it out and fight it. And from what we've seen them do otherwise, right? I mean, what we're seeing them do with Meta, and what we're seeing them do on TikTok, and what we're seeing them do with cease and desist letters to telehealth companies and all that. Like, why would we think that they would do anything other than fight what the president is saying. So I'm in this sort of mode right now where I'm watching and seeing what's going to be happening, and I am keeping up with it and I am following it, and I would love to discuss it with you guys in a respectful way. If you if we feel like we can do that, then sure, let's talk about it in the comments, because I do want to discuss everything with you guys. I just want everybody to be cautious of respectfulness towards everybody else, because I think that's the most important thing, because that's what makes us a community here. So yeah, my personal opinion is it sounds great if we adjust a few things. However, I don't necessarily believe that as he said it out of the words of his mouth would be ever how it came to fruition. I could be wrong, but we just have to keep fighting. That's it. We just have to fight until they finally listen to us and realize that we need affordable access and we need this medicine for all of us to be healthy and thrive. And when we're healthy and we thrive, then America is going to be healthy and thrive. And somehow we have to get that through all of their heads, and sort of remove the layers of like greed thoughts out of their brains like this. Brush it off. Okay. All right. Now that I've chatted for a long time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on all of the things that we discussed today down below. This was definitely a more rambly style video, where I'm just sort of laying it all off my mind, because there's been so much on my mind lately that I wanted to discuss. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment your thoughts on all of it down below. And I will see you guys in the next video, which will be next week on Monday. Tomorrow, so I'm filming this Wednesday. When you guys are seeing this, I'm actually on a little mini trip with my kids, just me and the kids. We're going to like one of those hotel water park type things so we're going to the Great Wolf Lodge. Do y'all remember from a couple of months ago when I almost died at one? So I have told everybody that they have to make me like a protein bar and some fruit or something, and not forget to eat in the morning, so that I don't try to fall downstairs on water slides. If you know, you know. Okay, that's where I'm at though, as you're watching this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Have a great weekend, guys.